Good morning folks, what I'm going to do today is show you a quick demo of how to seal round the bath and down the reveal. Where should we start with the tools? The tools you need are obviously sealant gun. This is I'll show you the two, no, I haven't got this gun. This is a professional type gun, I guess. This has got a dual action, and what it does, it says, is that it doesn't leak out once you finish using the gun, but clearly you can see it does. So you need a gun, sealant, bucket to put your waste in, down there a second, knife to cut your top off of if you need to, but usually on a bath you only need less than one. These are my tools for silicone in around the edges. I prefer these. I think they're much better, gives a much better finish, and I'll come on to that in a minute. Scraper if you get too much on, which does happen. And trusted blue roll to wipe anything off and keep your hands clean. Usually I've got rubber gloves, but at the moment you can't get any. I prefer the rubber gloves just to keep you nice and clean. Right, just to describe about the tool. Most builders get the finger, make it and go whip, 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 which is great, but this is what you end up with. You end up with like a strange sort of curve like that. With the tool, let's get a better one. You end up with a nice edge or a slightly beveled edge, and you don't end up with this little bit of a bump where it goes up, creeps up the wall. Obviously you can see from this one it doesn't creep up the wall. You get different profiles of these, etc., but today I'm going to use this one. It needs a bit more of a clean. So that's the tool out of the way. Right, first off you might think, oh right, how's he going to silicone behind there? I'm not a genius, I don't pretend to be. But as luck would have it, oh, carabunga. You're not always blessed with this kind of luxury of taking the taps off. I purposely didn't fit the taps because I knew it would be a problem silicone down there. If you do have the taps fitted, and most of you do, because obviously you're replacing the silicone with mouldy silicone, oh sorry, the way around, you won't have that pleasure. So all you have to do is just do your very best you can to get close to each edge of there, and then just somehow, by whatever means you can, sometimes you get a longer one of these, yeah, that one's slightly longer, is try and get it in, and then you will have to use a finger, but it's a very messy job. A lot of people use masking tape to mask up round. I would not recommend it, it just makes more mess and you end up with a line. I would not recommend that at all, but some of you do, I know you do, so whatever you feel comfortable with. Right, so no further ado, what I've done previously to this, I've actually cleaned all down here, because this has just been, I've just freshly tiled this. So make sure you get all your dust off from all the way around the bath. So what I'm going to do is this piece here first, because obviously I don't want to do that secondary and then it gets knocked off into the silicone here. So right, here we go. Just clean that off there, start so it's fresh. Get some blue roll ready. Hopefully it's straightforward, last famous words. Oh, another tip as well. Obviously this has got the film all the way over the bath. If you're doing a bath that hasn't got the film in, put a dust sheet over, because once silicone's on there, it is nearly impossible to get it off. So, and you can make a mess and damage your bath, so be careful of that. Another top tip, obviously, that's an original, so it goes all the way up to there like that, and you can see how much I've cut off from there just to get enough in. Again, top tip with this, don't try and put too much on. Right, here we go, top to bottom, bottom to top, whichever you think. I'm going to go top to bottom, so here we go, just put a little bit in, oh there we go, just make it nice. Sometimes I do actually, if I can get a really good finish, I leave it as raw because it's too much of a pain to clean it up afterwards. So there we go, that's the first bit. Get the trusted tool, there we go. Because you've got a little bit of an edge on there, I don't know if you can all see that, let's try and focus in a little bit. Oh, but we can't see that, let's focus in a bit. I'll just focus in for this bit. If you can see there's a little edge there, obviously running the tool over it. Look at that, beautiful. Look at that now. Perfect. That is a perfect Another top tip with silicone, don't revisit it because you just make it worse. And obviously clean it off, your excess off. As you've got a bin ready, shove it straight in a bin. You don't want silicone all over the place, it's just unbelievable stuff. It's like golden syrup, but not tasty. Get a few more strips of that ready. Okay, so that's that, don't revisit it. Another tip on this again, I've used No Nonsense. This is like a budget brand. As this hasn't got a shower over it, so there's no point in actually buying premium for this. If it had got a shower over it, always buy premium fungal protection, because I will guarantee you it will go black, spotty, all sorts of rubbish. People think it's cheaper just to buy this stuff and do it. It's not. If it was a shower unit, I can tell you I'd put premium in there every time. It's still only going to last 2 or 3 years, but at least you get 2 or 3 years than a year out of it anyway. So, but as this is not going to be a splash area particularly, I'm using cheap stuff. Let's come back out again so you can see what I'm doing. Big bit on there. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to do the short strip across here. Again, just test it with your finger, make sure it's dust free. This one is beautifully dust free. So here we go. Just clean off your edge again. Put it straight in the bin. I'm going to go right to left on this one. Needs probably a bit more in this one because it's got a bigger. This is something you're only going to know with experience, really. But what I try to do is the crest of a wave. I can see the silicone coming ahead of me when I put it in there. Gives me a clue that it's actually gone into the gap between the two. And you can see it coming on there nicely. You can get the silicone off when you've got a good tool, but if you're doing it with your finger, which I wouldn't really recommend, but if you've only got one bath to do, there's no point buying a tool. There we go, that's in there. Get it nice and clean and ready for it. Here we go. I'll give you a close-up when I've finished. See, that actually would get that even across there like that. Impossible. There we go, perfect now. I know what I'm going to do with this. Let's just go down there and get that off there. I'll give you a close-up shot of this when I've finished, so you see it. So I'm not sure you can see it very well on that one. But there we go, just put a bit more down there, like so. This is going to take a bit of filling, this one is, because you can see there's a big gap on this one. There we go, lovely. Absolutely spot on. That bit done. Alright, clean the tool, as I said to you. Now the back one's going to be a bit more tricky because, I don't know if you can see, just there's a bigger gap. Let's see if I can focus in a bit more. Let's come bring the camera in. There's a bigger gap on this end. It's where the wall's not square. I don't know what that ever is, but there we go. I didn't build this house. But I can make it look good, and that's what the customer's paying for. So, or if you're doing it yourself, you want it to look good. So, again, plenty of blue roll ready. I've got plenty of silicone left in my gun. That's how much I've got left in my gun. So I know I'm going to complete this in one run. But I know here I'm going to have to put a lot of silicone in that end and nothing in that end, virtually. Right, here we go then. Put a bit of a wodge in the corner there. As I said to you, this is going to take a bit more in here. Obviously if it's a hot day, you have to get even more remove on. This silicone is like unbelievable stuff. I mean, it's a love-hate relationship, I think, with this stuff. It's great when it goes on good and you're like really pleased with it, but if you get problems and it goes all over, oh yeah, it's covered it, so that's good. See what a lovely finish that comes out at. You just cannot do that. So I've got a bit extra, it always happens that way. Let's clear that off. Don't want too much build up as it goes everywhere. It's starting to come back there. So just clean off quickly. There's one thing with silicone, you've got to get a move on with it. Don't. There we go, look at that. Brilliant. I'll come back along here again, start again. Get a bit of a build up again, I feel it. If you got a little, when it build up there, I can actually take it off. Yeah, that's it. Right, let's just do a close up for you guys, so you can see it. So, oh, it's coming out a bit further. So you see all around there, up the wall there, up the wall there. But if you look, focus in a bit, look at that finish. Brilliant. And come down there, come down there, come down there, come down there. There we go. Thank you for watching.